Hello again, everyone. This is Chris here, and that's Robert Harding. This is the Citizen Sports Weekly video. Pregnant pause for effect. Dramatics here.
Didn't realize pause could have children.
It's a dramatic weekend for college basketball fans. But anyways, this is our weekly sports video. We do this every week on auburnpub.com and YouTube, and we appreciate you watching. And with that, we'll jump right into our first topic of the afternoon. This is being recorded on Friday, March 28th, 2014. And our first topic is NCAA Men's College Basketball Tournament. We're down, well, we have half of the Elite Eight. Right? We're halfway to the Elite Eight?
Yeah.
Yes, we're halfway. And another 4 teams will be decided tonight.
That's right.
Yeah. So we're getting there. It's been a great tournament, a lot of fun, unless you have a bracket. Then you're not having a lot of fun because your bracket's been destroyed.
No billion-dollar winners.
No. Warren Buffett's going to get to keep his money.
Better luck in 2015.
Yeah, good for him. I'll take 1% of that billion, Warren. Just 1%. I'm not greedy. Just 1%, please.
1%.
So, yeah, I would like to be that 1%, wouldn't you? So, but this isn't politics, is it, folks? So, we'll talk a little bit about last night's games. We'll talk a little bit about tonight's games. And, I'll tell you, Florida, you thought maybe they were on the ropes last night, but they found a way to beat UCLA. They pulled away at the end. And the other game in that region with Stanford and Dayton. I mean, Dayton, Bob Sosey, 1985 Auburn High School grad, and a University of Dayton grad, current New England Patriots play-by-play announcer. He's dancing in the streets right now where he is. He's thrilled. His Dayton Flyers have reached the Elite Eight for the first time since 1984. 30 years! I was young back then.
I was not born yet.
I was in high school. I was a junior in high school. So, anyways. And then the other area of the bracket, that one was where I got destroyed because I actually had Creighton winning the whole region, and they didn't even make it out of the first weekend. So, on Wisconsin, they took care of Baylor. Not a great game. I mean, it really wasn't.
It was really one-sided.
Yeah,
I mean, Baylor really didn't get much going early on, and Wisconsin ended up winning by 17, I think. So.
And then the Aztecs, love that nickname. The Aztecs of San Diego State gave Arizona a tough game too. They hung in there till about the last couple of minutes. They could have won it.
San Diego State was a great team.
Yeah. Steve Fisher, great coach, won a title with Michigan.
You could sit here and talk all day about how great of a coach Steve Fisher is, and the Aztecs gave the Wildcats a run for their money, but Arizona's a different team this year. Last year, maybe they fold in that situation.
So that's going to be a good championship game. Arizona, Wisconsin's going to be a good one, and Florida and Dayton. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, underdog, people love Dayton, the underdog, but I can't see Florida losing that game. And the other game, Arizona, Wisconsin, I can see Wisconsin winning that game easily. Sure. I mean, it's a 1 versus 2. I mean, I don't think it's much of a surprise Wisconsin wins.
Yeah, Wisconsin's a team that they, kind of different than what they've been in the past. They're not, I mean, they're still good defensively, but they weren't necessarily known as a scoring team before. Right. And this year, I mean, in the tournament anyway, they've been shooting the lights out.
Yeah.
Just plain outstanding, and real threat to come out of the West.
Yeah. Now tonight, although by the time you see this video, these games will probably be over with. We have Michigan State and Iowa State, and that's in the East region. And Louisville and Michigan. I almost said Minnesota. What am I thinking? Louisville and Michigan in the Midwest semifinal.
Louisville and Kentucky.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my God. You know what? I'm looking at my next rounding. That's who I'm picking.
He's looking into his crystal ball.
Yeah. Okay. So
the gut is returned.
Louisville. Yes. Never went away. Louisville, Kentucky, and Michigan, and Tennessee. So you want to think that Michigan is going to beat Tennessee easily. Tennessee, they've had their run. They won the play-in game. That's going to be it for them. Louisville, Kentucky, I think is going to be a great game. This could be a classic. I have a hunch this is going to be a buzzer beater, overtime type game, down to the wire, back and forth. This is. I mean, there's no coincidence that this game is on late tonight. This is the late game. It's going to be a great game. And the other 2 games, which I briefly touched upon and probably incorrectly touched upon them, UConn and Iowa State. UConn goes to the Garden in New York City.
That's a tough
That's
game.
going to be a tough game. I mean, UConn's going to have the home court basically, but Iowa State's no slouch.
Yeah.
And then we have Virginia and Michigan State, and I like Michigan State to get to the title game, so you know where I'm going with that one. I think Virginia's a very good team, but they're not that good, and I like the Spartans in that game.
Yeah, Michigan State there, you got to like their chances against Virginia. Virginia, I praised them during the ACC tournament. I think they're the best team in the ACC, but that's not really saying much. Michigan State, I think, has just a better collection of talent, a better team, more experienced team in these situations, and I think they will advance. Iowa State and UConn is tough. I have Iowa State advancing, but I could easily see UConn, the way that they've played in the first couple of rounds, win this game too. Yeah. It's not, it's one of those. It could go either way. Depends on what teams show up here. Iowa State, they're without one of their best players. But can they make up the difference? Mm-hmm. They certainly showed last week that they can against North Carolina. On the other side, Louisville, Kentucky, like you said, I mean that's probably the best game
of the weekend easily.
Yeah, that we'll see. It could easily be the best game between the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 that we see. Just a terrific matchup there.
I mean, it's a Final Four caliber contest.
Oh yeah, and the only thing I'll say is this: is that Kentucky. If you watch that Wichita State game, which I think we both watched, one of the flaws with that team is that they're kind of streaky. When they're hot, they're hot.
Right.
They're very good. But when they fall into these lulls and they play lackadaisical defense and they're that they get kind of inconsistent on offense. Against Wichita State, that was a different story. Against Louisville, they'll make you pay.
Yeah.
And so if that happens in this game, I think it could easily be a 10 or 12 point win for the Cardinals.
Interesting.
But if Kentucky can keep their act together for most of the game, I think it'll come down to the last shot.
Right. Our next topic, and this is one that just the NFL just does not stop. I don't think there's ever a downtime for the NFL. It just doesn't happen. There's always something.
They had meetings this week.
Yeah, we had owners' meetings at the Ritz-Carlton in beautiful Orlando, Florida. Great place. And unfortunately, some sad news, and this is obviously Robert can, definitely can relate to this and feels bad. But Ralph Wilson, the owner of the Buffalo Bills, passed away on Monday. Was it Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday, 95. So hey, he had a pretty long life, and he did a great job getting the Bills started and keeping them in Buffalo. And I'll let Robert talk about the impact that Ralph Wilson had. I just want to quickly say that I'm a Dolphins fan. Obviously, I hate the Bills. I don't hate Ralph Wilson personally, okay? And to be honest with you, I respect and admire for what he did in helping the AFL get off the ground and stay afloat. I mean, I read that he basically loaned $400,000 to keep the Raiders afloat. The AFL could have went under very easily in the early 60s. And Ralph Wilson's one of the reasons why the league survived, and it's probably one of the reasons why the Dolphins even exist. So in a weird way, if it wasn't for Ralph Wilson and the Bills, the Dolphins would not exist. So I appreciate that, and Mr. Wilson, rest in peace where you are, and thanks for your contributions to our great game of pro football.
Yeah, this is a guy, looking from a native Western New Yorker's perspective, Bills fans and Western New York owes a lot to Ralph Wilson. He brought the team there. It wasn't his first choice, but
Miami actually.
Yeah,
it was funny. Miami, he tried to get a team there, and he couldn't get anywhere with the local officials, so he tried Buffalo.
Yeah.
Boy, how's that for weird history?
I tell you, when I read that this week, it was it brought a smile to my face for sure. But this is a guy throughout his tenure as an owner, bringing the Bills to Buffalo, certainly significant. In terms of the franchise, of course, we think about the Super Bowl run, 4 straight Super Bowls, and while we didn't win those 4 Super Bowls, it was nice to get there, and Ralph Wilson was a big reason why. He wanted to build a winner, and he believed that small market teams could do it, and that's really, I think, his legacy here is that. For a guy who owned a small market team, he had a lot of influence. Mm-hmm. He really left a mark, and the small markets these days, they're I don't want to say they're a dying breed, right. But they're getting kind of pushed to the side. and it is unfortunate. But he was a real leader, in terms of that, and really helping small markets have a voice. And I mentioned this, in a piece I wrote for the Citizen this week, about Ralph Wilson, going back to '06 when they reached an agreement on the collective bargaining. They reached a deal on the collective bargaining agreement and revenue sharing, and he voted against it. He was one of only two owners who voted against it.
I think Paul Brown might have been the other
I
one.
believe you're right. Yeah. And
Another small market guy.
another small market guy, and the reason that they voted against it was that they didn't see the benefits. They saw it. One of the reasons I should say is that they didn't see the benefits coming for small market teams. And it was interesting because if you look a couple years ahead, a lot of owners went back when they ended up voiding that deal and said Ralph Wilson was basically right.
Yeah.
So, this is a guy, just a long career. We were blessed to have him around for 95 years. And, to bring the team to Buffalo, to keep it there, he had all the chances in the world to move it, if he wanted to, but he didn't, because he said he couldn't do that to the Bills fans of the, Buffalo and Western New York communities. So, thankful, as a Bills fan, and, hopefully we can carry on his legacy here.
Yeah, it's better to have a losing team than no team, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, that's
Although
true.
you'd rather have a winning team in a team period. But anyways, Rob, anything else you want to add?
No, I think exciting weekend
Yes.
college basketball looking ahead here. Of course, baseball I believe starts this weekend too.
Didn't that start last week? Oh, that's right. We were asleep. Australia.
Well,
Although one of the games was at 10 o'clock Eastern,
Yeah.
but still. I mean, we had NCAA basketball on. What are you going to watch, really? Dodgers Diamondbacks, game number 2 of the regular season, or a thrilling NCAA men's college basketball tournament game? I mean, come on, folks. No, this is what I'm going to go on a rant real quickly. Baseball, stupid idea. Bud Selig, please don't do this
I
again.
thought this was America's pastime.
I understand about expanding the game and wanting to broaden your horizons and go to different markets and try to make money in those markets. That's really what it comes to. It's always about the money, folks. You know that. But, this is opening day. If you want them to go to Australia, why don't you have them go after the season's over with, do it that way, have them play a couple exhibition games. Because the people in Australia, I guarantee you, they don't give two hoots about Major League Baseball. They care about rugby, they care about cricket, they care about soccer, they care about swimming a lot, believe me, okay? They don't really care about American baseball. I would say American football's got a better chance of succeeding in Australia than American baseball. But anyways, end of rant. Appreciate you watching the video, folks. Please spread the word. Our links are there. Spread them. We would love to have more people watching. We think we're doing a good job here, having fun, and we hope you guys enjoy it. So until next week, we'll see you and enjoy the games this weekend.